Hello and welcome back to Dime to Diamonds. I am Suzanne Porsky with Phoenix Financial Group, and I'm joined by
Mark Farquhar with Phoenix Financial Group.
Yes, we are doing our fourth episode of our second season. I'm super excited.
Right, yeah.
Today we're going to talk about blog posts we have.
Right. It's on the website phx.financial. 10 things nobody tells you about retirement. It's pretty interesting.
I know. So I put this blog post together.
It's very good.
What caught me off guard is I was reading in one of our magazines that we get.
Right.
Did you know that 60% of people who try to escape prison are caught within the first 24 hours and 85% within a week? And the source was the History Channel.
I didn't know that. Yeah, that was, you hear they get caught a lot. It takes some time, but yeah, that's some pretty high percentages.
It went on to say that when people plan a prison escape, they're so focused on the act of getting out that they don't do much planning for when they're finally beyond the walls, which is when they realize they don't have the tools, the resources, and support they need to stay on track. And I was like...
Well, I know, and I was sitting there thinking, well, that's kind of not very nice to put, escaping from prison to retirement, but it's so true. Everybody's so excited to retire, and then they get there, and it's like, what now?
So I was reading this after just having an appointment with one of our clients.
Yeah.
That was like shocked about retirement. After that honeymoon phase wears out a week or so and it's a super long vacation, and then you're like, okay, well, I'm going to go back to work. Oh, that's right. I cut the cake, had a retirement party.
Right.
Now what do I do?
I know.
And then
you don't play so much golf.
Right. And then stuff starts happening where they're like, oh gosh, this was a gentleman I was talking to. His wife started, she went back to work.
Yeah.
Because she worked. She's not retired yet. And he's like, okay, so the dudes I was, hanging out with around the water cooler and on breaks, I'm not talking to.
Right.
And I really shouldn't be texting them because I always wanted them off their phone. And then just all those things started adding up. And so that's kind of where this whole article.
Right.
And it's a fun, I think.
Yeah.
It's not a fuzzy blog. It's not going to make you feel all fuzzy and warm afterwards. No. But we're both going to talk about this today, and then hopefully you'll take some time out to go to the website and read the entire article or blog. And if it's not for you, maybe it's somebody that you might know. And these are things that they're going through that you probably wouldn't know unless you've experienced them yourself. Right. And then for those of you that are retired, you might find some similarities and go, oh my gosh, I feel heard and seen because this really is. Because there's been some homework done. Right. And so again, it's not going to be a super fun, fuzzy article, but there's some truth here. My whole plan was to change people's perspective on retirement and give them a better understanding, and actually just let them know that this new season in their life, and we've talked about this, people don't retire for 2 to 4 years. Yeah, it's lifetime. And hopefully they're going to be there 10, 15, 20, 30 years. Right. If life expectancy is, as they say, they should be there quite a while. And that's so if you had a career of 25 years somewhere, you may now have a career of 25 years of being retired. Yeah. And then what does retirement look like? You've got a lot of moving parts. You've got Social Security.
Up to you what it is,
Medicare.
Right.
All those things have limits.
Taxes,
Taxes. You're never before tax money.
Yeah.
Now you're going to pay taxes on it.
There's still planning to be done, even when that retirement kicks in.
Yes. So let's talk about the 10 things that I listed here. What was the first one?
Retirement is empty.
Right. What is retirement? It's honest to goodness. I think it's a concept.
I think it's what you make it. Like it's like it says here, retirement is a made-up manufacturing phase of life. And so
it doesn't hold anything. It says it's up to you to fill it up with the things that you value.
The people that are important to you,
what you want to do.
That's probably the most important, your people.
So in my homework, 76% of retirees have seen someone struggle with the transition in retirement. 43% of retirees reported that adjusting to retirement was so much harder than they thought.
Right.
And I know you haven't been there. Well, you're not a member because you're not young like me. But the senior center, we have one of the largest, most thriving senior centers here in our little town in Broken Arrow. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But they also realized that seniors felt very isolated in retirement. And you may be going, oh my gosh, I'm going to retire and see my grandchildren more or my kids more.
Yeah.
And I'm going to travel more. And that means that those other people have to participate if you're going to go see them.
Yeah.
They have to be, the grandkids are probably going to school and they're in sports, and your children are actually being parents.
Yeah.
So they're busy. So you want to see them more often.
That needs to be part of the plan. You don't need to make one thing your whole retirement plan.
Right.
You need to you see those people that don't have any kind of plan, and they tend to health-wise go down. They get depressed and all that. You've got to be, like my wife Kim says, she goes, when I'm retired, I'm going, and it's even now, I'm not going to wait around and see if my kids are going to call me. I'm going to go call them. I'm going to go drop in on them. I'm going to go see them. I'm going to be, forward in that. And I think it's
called helicoptering. Just kidding.
Well, yeah. But you're saying, it's good to have those other avenues in life, the senior center, church, and all that. You've got to have multiple avenues rather than relying on one thing to make your retirement, all that, because it may let you down. So I think it is important to have that.
Right. I know that I was told that, I had family that was going to surprise me, and they had their retirement all planned a year in advance. Was never told to me to be a bigger part of my children at the time's lives. And I had the opportunity to move from Southern California out here, so we did. I had no idea, and the massive depression hit, and they were so upset, and I go, first of all, you never told me that you were retiring to do that, and then second, we have our life.
Yeah.
Kids are busy.
I know.
And it's fun to get together on the weekends, but that is the time that we've allotted to have that kind of interaction.
It's not that, how it is, not that they're busy, but man, life nowadays is just getting kids to school, getting them keeping their grades up, getting them to them from where they want to be in their church groups, other groups, whatever. It's a full-time job. So anyway.
It's talking about beware of the dark side. I did not realize, but found out when I was doing this and reading that mental health, as we were just talking about, is not really recognized, but should be a much higher priority in our society, especially with the elderly.
Yeah.
And that, did you see here where I put the number one drug I found, because of isolation, the number one drug I found that's being abused is alcohol.
Right.
And I think society is obviously much better about people that drink alcohol, and it's more socially acceptable. Women in wine, that kind of stuff. So
you're right. Yeah. It's easy to get trapped into that. Mm-hmm. So
number 3 we have is the wrong top 10 list. Did you know a retirement is on the top 10 of most stressful?
Buying a house, divorce, all that. It's up there with those big time, issues of life. You never would think that. You think it'd be like one of the best times, but that's
most stressful.
I know.
And then, it's like people, I know for me, when I started my first job, your goal is retirement.
Yeah.
You're working and you're saving, and you're like, okay, I'm putting more money into my retirement. You're building this up.
Yeah.
But like we've said, people don't plan, okay, now what does retirement look like for me?
Yeah.
What am I going to do? And that's where we sit and we have those real conversations.
Yeah, that isolation's real. That's what you got to keep yourself from doing, because like our work day, we have routine. I think you got to have the routine even in your retirement life. You got to keep that routine going on. You've got to have things that keep you moving rather than sitting at the house wondering what I'm going to do.
Right.
So anyway.
Right. Retirement isn't a feeling. You can't feel your way to and through retirement. The reality is that a person's over-reliance of how they think they're going to feel inside of plans and actions to create those feelings can end up being problematic for their journey. And so that's where we just talk about, a lot of them will sit in front of the TV.
Yeah.
And the people who are retiring now didn't have television like our kids have television.
Yeah.
And I think it sucks them in.
Yeah.
And you start seeing some of those talk shows and other ones. And years ago, I had a pastor say, "Do you understand television? What it means? It's telling a vision." Mm-hmm. Those people, they're projecting a vision to you.
Yeah.
And my husband and I will watch reality TV, Survivor and Amazing Race, and we're like, we feel like this is kind of set up. Like that guy's a twit, and all of a sudden he finds a hidden immunity idol in the brush.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden out of nowhere, they're sitting there eating their rice and everybody's picking on them, and then they all of a sudden get up and go find this under this thing of, Even
all
reality
scripted. Yeah.
television is scripted.
Right.
And so they're
There's
telling a
Motel 6
vision.
right behind the camera. You know,
That's
they're
what he
not really
says. He'll
sitting
say,
out there.
he'll say, I wonder what the resort looks like right through the woods over there.
right.
So, oh, this is huge. The up and coming subtractions, and just the trade-offs and the gains and the losses and the social connections. We've talked about that. But the subtractions of cost, and we said this, I think, in our last episode when retirement, like my husband works harder now than he probably
Yeah.
ever did. And those first couple of years off, he'd always tell people he's semi-retired. I think he was hoping that he could, go back to work. Because at least he got union breaks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And he'd tell me,
Miss
okay,
those
time
now.
out. I need a union break. And I'm like, no, not around here.
Missing those now.
But, retirement doesn't eliminate
No,
work.
right.
You got a lot of honey-do lists. And then
Got to
you
catch up on all those things that you weren't getting done when you were working,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still upkeep and all that.
It's the upkeep. We just
Right.
had somebody last week. I was like, hey, how's it going in retirement? And like we said, once you get into retirement, if you're our clients, we like to start really getting conversations really systematic about 5 years
Yeah.
beforehand to get you completely prepared. And then getting up to that the year before and then the year of. And then as soon as you retire, I am going to stick to you like glue. And that's what happened.
Right.
One of my clients, it's like, how's it going? It's been a few months.
right.
And the vehicle that they had parked because it's not being driven every single day to work.
Right.
We had some cold and snow and some mice. Got up and decided to, eat the soy, the wrapping around
Right.
all the wires. So he
Right.
he has a bunch of electrical damage to his vehicle.
Yeah.
And he's like, never would imagine that I'd have to come out here and pay this thing and go through all this in retirement. Like that was going to be my, ride or die car.
Nothing's gonna. That's one of the things people probably think is hey, it's going to be easy now. I'm retired, so. But yeah, like that stuff.
Who would have
still
thought?
goes
Because
on.
his car's sitting there
Yeah.
because it's not leaving every day
Right.
for 12, 14 hours a day.
Yeah.
And,
It's gonna-
that he would have a problem like that.
Yeah.
And then now the expense,
Right.
that wasn't in the budget.
Yeah.
And,
Exactly.
yeah, somebody, I put on here on number 7, the lost and found table. It says, you ever been to kids or grandkids elementary school and seen that lost and found table? It's littered with all kinds of good stuff that doesn't have a place. And that's what they were talking, I was reading where a lot of people feel like because of the hustle and bustle in life, the people they wanted to hang out with and
Yeah,
be
they're
friends
too
with
busy.
are now too busy.
Yeah.
And they feel like a piece of valued
Right.
article that's on a lost and found table. Like,
You just can't put all your.
you have to find a new community
you've
and
gotta-
you
yeah,
have to be
right.
intentional.
Right.
And if you want to travel,
Multiple
that's what,
avenues,
and that's
yeah.
what we talk to our clients.
Yeah.
What do you want retirement to look like? And ask them, do you want to travel? And they just kind of look at you like,
But it's kind of like the travel, want to play golf, but then it's that period after that honeymoon is ended, and they're like, okay, we can only travel so much, or we're tired. We like to, then that's when you've got to find those other
A new routine.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I had a lady, I said, she was retiring, and I said, well, you might want to try pickleball. And I was telling her about our senior center.
right.
And she said, were you in that meeting? I don't know. But she said, oh, pickleball, I'll go try it. I don't know. And then a couple weeks later, we're trying to plan a follow-up appointment, and she was busy. And I was like, when she finally came in, I said, what new hobbies did you find? Your retirement's looking pretty busy. We couldn't schedule a time. And she said, well, I fell in love with pickleball, and so now I have 5 different pickleball places she goes to.
Yeah.
And I said 5. She goes, yeah. And then on Saturday and
deal.
Sunday,
Yeah.
she loves her pickleball community.
Yeah, that's neat. That's awesome. That's becoming so. I mean, it gives seniors and us older people something to do. That's not. I can't do tennis
No,
if I get to it.
I haven't. Have you tried?
Pickleball's been
Oh,
fun.
you
Yeah, it's
like
fun.
pickleball?
Yeah,
I
it's
haven't
fun.
tried pickleball, but
Yeah,
I've
it's a lot
heard
of
that
fun.
it's.
The whole family can play it, so it's pretty cool. I mean, my
Is it
mom's
like
been
a-
out there with us. She played it.
Is it like a wiffle ball?
Yeah, it's like a wiffle ball. So it's the ball's not coming as fast and it's larger. So
Softball size?
and the biggest deal, the court's smaller, so you don't have to make up. It's a lot.
How many people are on the court?
I have no idea. I think it's maybe 2, and you can do two on two, and maybe I think is the biggest. I'm not up on my pickleball rules, but I think if you're playing tournament stuff, it's 2 on 2.
Okay,
So
and they're smaller
yeah,
courts.
the court's small. Yeah,
I always
It's
thought they were
fun,
on
though.
tennis courts.
Well, like if you go down the street here, they'll have tennis courts, and they've painted the new lines for the pickleball. So you can use the same net, smaller court. So, and then I noticed over by our church,
Scooters.
behind Scooters, they've got a whole pickleball.
Do you know that place is
complex.
packed
Is it
every
really?
day?
How long has it been there? I just
I
noticed
want
it
to
last
say
week.
maybe
Hadn't been too long.
maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yeah. And then my
So here's
daughter's
a little-
college has a pickleball team.
Are you kidding?
They go around. Yeah, I guess it's becoming like a college sport. So anyway,
I need to get on the pickleball. I'm going to tell you, our senior center, I'm going to come back to here. They serve lunch every day.
right.
So if for people that kind of feel shut in or maybe a spouse has passed away,
Yeah.
it's $2.
gives
And
them- yeah.
I've heard it's not anything you're going to crave or hope, like
Right.
count the hours down till you eat it, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a gourmet restaurant,
Yeah.
but it's not bad. And then the fellowship there. And then all the activities. And so you can find different
Go
communities
work
within
out,
maybe.
you can go. I mean, paint
do-
class, workout.
So Thursdays, they have a card making class.
Oh, do they? Okay.
And because I qualify, I'm over 55 by a few days. I am determined to get to that card making class on Thursdays because it's really awesome. And then they have all these puzzles. And
Yeah.
I just, after I did this article, this blog, and I go in there, I'm like, this is refreshing to see that people are taking and proactive about their life.
Right.
They're not retired and sitting at home complaining to their family that, you know,
Yeah.
you're not available to entertain me.
Don't act like the victim.
Right.
Don't act like feel sorry. Yeah, feel sorry
Right.
for yourself. That's going to get you in. No matter how old you are, that's going to get you in the wrong place. So
Right. Yeah. Super exciting. And like, I'm going to give a shout out to your mom for doing such a great job of, you know, at the transition of your dad.
Yeah.
She took control of her life.
Right. Yeah.
And
did.
she's being proactive.
Yeah.
And
She
getting
stays
out there and
busy
living
she-
life.
Right. Yeah.
And
She's got
finding-
her friends and everything. She does a really good job.
Right.
Keeping-
and then
keeping
luckily
things
she
going.
makes availability to, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
help out when you
Right.
guys need somebody
Yep.
picked up
She
from
picked
school.
up Cannon from school the last couple of days for the
Being gone at the
event
conference.
we went to. Yeah, it was nice. So yeah.
Number 10, I thought this was really important. The retirement's only guarantee is that you will die at some point during it.
Right.
Unfortunate. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not
I
unfortunate
know.
because that's where we know we're all going.
Right.
But on the surface, that sounds like perfect conversation to avoid. But instead, I wanted to flip the script and use it as a motivating factor
Mm-hmm.
to people. One of the biggest flaws in retirement is that people assume that once they get there, you know, they'll get to do whatever they want whenever they want.
Right.
But nothing could be further from the truth.
Right.
When they get to retirement, I tell them, please don't delay or put off the things that you
wanna
really
do.
want to do in life.
Right.
You know,
Well, you got health issues. You know, the health things start popping up. You never know what's going to. I mean, that could happen to any of us too. But you know what's going to. If you want to travel, you need to go travel. If you want to go play pickleball, you need to go play pickleball. Take care of yourself. But yeah, the days are not guaranteed
no.
that you're going to be.
And
you
that's
know,
where it's like have those courageous conversations with your family on your transition.
right.
And if I can encourage people right now, I don't care what age you are, especially males, like who and what is your plan? Who's going to take care of you if you can't take care of yourself?
Yeah.
And, you know, I had somebody right now that was referred to me. He had a really bad headache, went to visit his
Right.
wife at work, and she turned around and he was sitting on the floor. She goes, "What are you doing?" And he said, "My chest hurts so bad, I think I'm having a heart attack."
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he had a ruptured disc in his neck, but the paramedics that were there thought it was a heart attack, so they gave
Right.
him a nitroglycerin tablet,
man.
and it wasn't relieving the pain. They were doing an EKG and said, "You know, it doesn't look like it's your heart," but he was really in a lot of pain, so they gave him 2 more.
Yeah.
And that caused a stroke in his spinal cord. And he is paralyzed from his chin down.
Yeah, man.
And in just talking to his significant other, she said because he's on Medicare, and he was working though, and he's on Medicare Advantage, totally different. We're going to have a complete episode
Yeah.
on that. The facility does not want to keep him anymore. And so they're
Sending them home.
sending him home. She's small.
Yeah.
He's not. And she says, I have no idea, even to hook him up to the apparatuses
Yeah.
and all that, how I'm ever
If
going to
you've
do
ever
this.
had to help a person up,
I just know my
It's so hard.
granddaughter.
yeah.
she's like, what, 20 pounds?
Yeah.
And when she's asleep and you're trying to maneuver a little,
But you have a
3
grown
foot.
adult, which too, that can't get up or move. It's, anyway.
So those are the conversations,
Right.
and they're uncomfortable. But as a holistic financial planning company and services, that's what we talk about.
Right.
What is the plan? And then what are some ideas? And do you have long-term care? And do you have the right supplement plan with
Estate
your
planning,
Medicare
all that stuff.
and your estate planning and your medical directives and your durable power of attorney?
All those tools there are going to make that retirement, when those things pop up or happen, is going to make it smoother.
And that's what, like I said, on number 10 is the only guarantee is that you will transition. You
Right.
will leave this earthly body while you're in retirement, most likely.
Right.
And like I said, most people don't plan to go in for 2 to 4 or 5 years. Once they retire, they want to stay in retirement. So let's have the conversations of what this next season of your life looks like and all the nuances. and that's where I'm really proud of our firm, where we are able to do that with our clients.
Right. Exactly.
We're able to sit down and really say, hey, let's have these conversations that aren't typically normal.
Yeah.
And to those people that have, we had a client, Jan, her husband self-directed IRA. His hobby when he retired was to play in the market with his 401k.
Right.
And that's fine. That's great. You still need a financial advisor for all the other nuances, all those additional
Taxes.
things.
I mean, we have people that do that, but we've
What
all
about
got to
the
be on the same
RMDs?
paper tax. Yeah, RMDs and all that.
Are
There's
they
a lot of
taking their
moving
required minimum
parts.
distribution out at 70 and a half, now at 73?
Right.
The never before taxes. And then what we learned at their conference was how you can change the taxation by the beneficiary.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And once what was she saying when people are like, okay, I want to put my name on the beneficiary. As soon as you do that, and if you're not 59 and a half, then you're going to assume that 10% penalty.
And then there was issues if you wanted to do that, certain kids making a different tax bracket than another.
Right.
There's so much additional planning you can do for taxes and all that.
And we
could help
provide
you
that
out.
in
Right.
our CPA, in-house CPA is absolutely so important and so wonderful to work with, Rochelle.
Right.
Kind of feel bad she's not with us.
I know.
We've had now.
She'll be here next one.
Next episode, got to make sure of it. Because there is all those pieces. And you know what? If that's not your bus seat in life, you wouldn't know.
Yeah, right.
And that's where you go to the experts.
Right.
Just like think about like Lowe's and stuff like that. If you're going to do a project, you go and talk to the experts and do your homework. And that's what we are, all things financial to our clients.
Right.
So we hope you've enjoyed this episode. I want to encourage everybody to go to the website, look at the blogs.
Some good blogs on there. This is one of them.
Yes. Oh, I want to touch on this. A hospice nurse that was interviewed, collected, and shared some things that she said people said as they neared the end of their lives and their transition. And I put those down here. I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life that other people expected me to live.
I wish I hadn't worked so hard.
I wish I'd had the courage to really express my feelings.
I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends.
I wish that I had let myself be happier and live a retirement of no regrets. And man, when I put that down, I thought if we could summarize what our goal is,
Right.
it would be to assist our clients to live a retirement with no regret.
Right.
And because just like people prepare their children for the workforce, they're going to school and to get a job that they're going to like.
Right.
There's all these different seasons, and this season into retirement is what you and I specialize in.
Right.
And all the nuances. And I think collectively with my 41 plus years in this industry, and how long?
35 years.
In the industry together. I mean, over 75 years we come at stuff. And then Rochelle as the CPA to just help navigate through all that. And like we learned real quick on long-term care, when you can do a 1035 exchange and not create a tax event to get long-term care in place, to take care of you and hire professionals and not go broke and be comfortable and in the comfort of your home if something happens. All those things that
Just prepare.
Yeah, so I'm going to encourage our listeners to reach out to us. Let's just have a conversation. Even if you're just coming in, saying here, this is where I'm at, you know.
Just gather all your information, come in. We can
And all your
kinda talk about
questions?
it. Questions, yeah. I mean, you can come in here and what's so neat about us is it's a one-stop shop, holistic, so we can cover a lot of areas, all areas for your retirement. So,
And if we don't, we know someone.
oh yeah, we know somebody.
We know a guy.
Yeah.
No, we know a woman. No, we know somebody.
Yeah.
In the very, very, very rare.
We've got a good network, so
Right.
if we don't have somebody, we can certainly help you find somebody.
Refer somebody to you, or refer you out to somebody. So, well, that's all I have for today. Again, phx.financial. That's our website. So many good resources.
Right.
Also, we have an opportunity on there. If you want The Power of Zero by David McKnight, if you would just let us know, we will get that mailed out to you. It's a fantastic book.
Right.
And Holistic Retirement. I was fortunate enough to write the foreword and
Awesome.
work with Becky Swanberg, her dad, and Neil
Deal.
on there.
Good information for sure.
Super great. And we will send that to you free of charge. Just let us know. So that's all we got for today. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, evening, whenever you're listening to us. And make sure to reach out to us when you have any questions.
Take care.
Bye.
Time goes by.